Hello everyone, this is Mr. Brain Junkie here, and today we'll be talking about a fantasy action film called The Golden Monk. Be ready for some spoilers ahead. Many years ago in ancient China, the doorway of hell was broken open, causing floods of demons to rush into the human world. A rich merchant decides to hire powerful demon slayers to protect his family from being killed. Unlike the other hunters who's only putting on a show, a mercenary whose name is Jade begins sensing a presence approaching from the outside. She throws her weapon towards the door, only to find out that it was a monk who came here to slay the monster as well. The man introduces himself as Ton and tries to impress the girl by flattery, but Jade is only concerned about where the real demon is. Suddenly, the bells begin to ring and the floor is blown open, while the demon hunters try to subdue the enemy by using their magic. They attempt to capture the monster, but the men are sucked into the hole right away, causing the leader to scream in fear while numerous bones are spit out towards the people. The hunters run away immediately as the demon chases them from underground and spitting out its massive tentacle towards Ton while pulling him underneath. The demon slayers rush outside the building and tries attacking the monster once again, but is quickly overpowered by its massive arm, causing them to run away like cowards. The entire ground begins to sink down, causing earthquakes everywhere in the city as all the people run for their lives. The monster causes giant cracks on the floor and tumbling down all the buildings nearby, creating massive damages in the area. The demon hunters arrive onto a bridge and the leader tries to launch a final attack using his magic, while the giant creature approaches them from inside the water. The demon quickly launches out from the river and revealing that Ton is still alive as it charges towards the hunters and devouring the leader in a single bite. The monster crashes onto the ground and smashes into the buildings nearby while trying to devour all the people that are running away. Ton manages to hang on to the creature and tries desperately to control the demon, but the enemy is way too powerful as it knocks the man down and tosses him onto the ground. At the same time, Jade has arrived inside the area as well and tells her friend to ambush the creature from the back while she goes for its eyes. The monster roars furiously at the people and swallows the humans like a giant Pac-Man. Ton tries to interfere but ends up getting hit by the girl's arrow that lands right on his behind while he falls onto the ground alongside the civilian. The old lady hits him on the face for looking like a simp while Ton pulls out the arrow in agony. The female hunters are able to launch their attacks and manage to hit the creature using poison arrows that lands right in the monster's eye. The giant demon screams in pain and falls down towards the ground as it finally dies from the ambush. The woman goes onto the creature and tries to cut into its back, but Ton jumps towards her and pushes her off the monster while saving her from the demon's poisonous blood. The liquids fly onto the merchant and begins burning him right away, while Ton manages to break the fall by faceplanting on the human pillows and getting slapped as a result. Jade goes onto the creature once again as she pulls the spine from its back and taking the large bone as her trophy alongside her friend. Ton goes towards the demon and chants a magical spell before turning the creature into dust and leaving nothing but bones behind. The next day, the woman makes it back to her home that's located far away from the cities, and she begins taking out the essence of the spine into her machine. It turns out that she has been trying to find the reincarnation of her soulmate for close to 1,000 years, and she's missing only one ingredient to complete her magic. Jay quickly reveals that she used to be a goddess from heaven who was given the task by her queen to watch over the tree of immortality and to obtain the fruits when it's ripe. Very soon, the woman sees her soulmate who turns out to be Ton, and the two quickly embrace each other while sharing a passionate kiss. What they don't realize is that the fruits on the tree have been falling this whole time, and when they finally notice their mistake, it was already too late. All the gods and goddesses gather around the area, and the queen is furious at the lovers for spoiling her ceremony. The deities were meant to consume the fruits that only grows every 3,000 years, and the goddess decides to punish them for their carelessness. She makes Ton drink the water of amnesia and banishes him into the human world as the man slowly falls from heaven and reincarnates into a stranger. However, the woman refuses to forget her soulmate as she jumps away from heaven without losing her memories, but is cursed to never know who her lover is in the next life. Through countless reincarnations, the woman is forced to be alone as she can never know the appearance of her soulmate even when they're enemies in battle who try to kill each other. After all the years of suffering, she now finally has a chance of finding her true love. Later that night, while going through the forest alone, Tom quickly noticed a gathering of people traveling the other way, where a number of beautiful women are riding inside their carriages. He quickly recognizes the strangers as demons hiding inside their human form, and the women also realize that the monk is extremely powerful, with golden aura surrounding his body. A beautiful girl in green dress notices the man's appearance and immediately remembers her past encounter with the monk. It turns out that Tom has fought a powerful dragon in the past and managed to seal the evil creature under the Buddha statue, but one of his children was able to escape before turning into stone. The man notices this, and instead of killing the snake, he decides to let the creature live by taking the demon away from the area and granting it freedom in the process. The woman is shocked to see her savior after so many years, as she realizes that she owes him her life. The demons eventually arrive into a large palace, where they meet their father, the Dragon Lord, and he demands to know whether if their plan was successful. It turns out that they were trying to seduce the emperor by using their beauty, so that they can eventually control him and enslave humanity. However, when they try to poison the king, a powerful energy repels the girls away after sensing their demonic auras. The dragon demon realizes that they have to change their plan, as they need a human girl to seduce the emperor and feed him the poison so that they can control his mind. The demons all change into their true form, revealing themselves to be monstrous creatures as they plan to devour the innocent children so that they can maintain their immortality. The next day, while Tom's masters are trying to shave off his hair like he owes them money, the monks break their weapons into pieces as the man's head is like a porcupine. Tom questions why he's cursed to never fully become a monk, and one of his masters, Khan, thinks that he must have offended the heavens in his previous life to suffer such misery. He tries to get the man to pray to the gods, but all the statues turn their backs on the main character, showing their unhappiness towards the man and making him even more confused. He goes to pray to Guan Yin, the goddess of mercy, and the deity is the only one to reply back, telling the man that he must kill a one-eyed demon in order to find out the truth about his past. Before the man can understand the goddess's prophecy, the head of the monastery rushes inside and sees that all the statues are turned around. He demands to know the person responsible for desecrating his temple, and quickly finds out that it was Tan, causing all the monks to grab onto the man and beat him up as a result. It turns out that the monks were paid by a rich woman who's here to pray for a son, and she's furious at the people for delaying her ritual and orders her minions to punish the master. The soldiers rush towards Khan and smashes the old man right on the head, causing a bright light to expel from his skull. Suddenly, the clouds begin to gather and shoots a powerful lightning towards the monk, causing him to transform into a giant monster that towers over everyone. The creature roars furiously at the people and kicks the soldiers away like ragdolls. The monster then grabs onto the leader of the monks and tosses him through the roof like an insect. Tan is amazed that his master has turned into a demon, but the old man explains that he's actually the reincarnation of the main character's brother from heaven. He came into the human world to help his friend, as he can no longer watch the man suffering anymore. The creature grabs onto the monk's head and shows him the memories of his past, revealing that he used to have a soulmate who was punished by the gods. Tom realizes that he was cursed to not know the appearance of his lover's reincarnation, while his master turns back to the human form once again. The old man reminds Tom that he must slay the one-eyed demon just like what the goddess of mercy has told him, so that he may find out the true identity of his soulmate. What they don't realize is that the dragon demon has sensed the presence of Tom after his master has transformed into the giant creature. The evil lord recognizes the monk right away, as he blames the main character for trapping him inside the Buddha statue for 1,000 years. He wants to take vengeance on the man, as he realizes that Tan is not at full power after being banished from heaven, and orders his daughters to capture the man's lover for his evil plan. However, the snake demon is clearly conflicted about her father's orders, as she has difficulty harming her savior. Sometimes later, a famous warrior known as the Angry Mustache arrives into a small village, where she plans to grab something to eat in the restaurant, which just happens to be run by the monk. It soon becomes very clear that the main character is an imposter, as he doesn't know how to make any of the food that's on the menu. This causes the woman to burst out in anger as she transforms into the Hulk, but their arguments are quickly interrupted when sticky liquids drop onto the girl's face. They look onto the ceiling in shock as they see a giant creature staring at them through the roof, and the monster grabs onto one of the warriors and tears her into pieces. The people run away from the building immediately, while the Cyclops roars furiously at the humans and begins wreaking havoc in the whole village. At the same time, Jade has arrived to claim the creature's eye and tells her friend to ambush the monster from below, while the demon is busy killing the soldiers. The creature grabs onto the warriors and devours them like snacks, but luckily, the hunter manages to cripple the enemy temporarily, giving the people a chance to attack. The angry mustache charges in and begins using her swords to blind the monster, but Jade jumps in to block the attack right away as she needs the enemy's eye. While distracted by the woman's beauty, the warrior is captured by the Cyclops as it prepares to devour her into its massive mouth. Luckily, the people are able to save her just in time as she gets kicked away by the enormous monster. Tom rushes in right away to save the woman and manages to catch her before the fall, but are both quickly disgusted by each other's appearance. Meanwhile, Jade rushes in to attack the monster head on, but Tom manages to save her just in time as he gets captured by the giant beast. The man uses the porcupine hair to break himself free as he gets tossed away into the air by the creature, while landing on the pointy rocks and sacrificing his family jewels in the process. The people run away from the area immediately while the Cyclops chases them closely behind, forcing them to jump into a ditch and hide from their enemy. After seeing the monk's hair, Jade gets the idea of using the man like an arrow, and they begin pulling the main character back on the ropes as they launch him away like an angry bird. Tom flies towards the monster with incredible speed and pierces right through the creature's body, killing the enemy right away as it falls onto the ground. Jade goes towards the Cyclops and takes out the massive eye on the monster's head, while the others watch in disgust, and the woman carries the organ back to her home. They follow the hunter as she returns to her hideout, and Jade offers the people to stay for the night as they helped her kill the monster. The woman goes to her machine right away and puts in the final ingredient, causing the eye to release all her memories into the room and revealing her lover's true appearance. Tom walks in at the same time and sees all the projections, realizing that the woman in front of him is the person that he's been looking for this whole time. The two look at each other lovingly as they finally embrace after being separated by the gods for 1,000 years. However, they're quickly interrupted by the dragon demon, who's here alongside his daughters to seek vengeance on the monk. The enemy attacks them right away, forcing Tom to push his lover away as he tries to fend off the demon's magic. The mustache warrior sees this and tries to help as she begins fighting against the daughters as well and manages to repel the enemies as they're evenly matched. The woman uses her sword like a skateboard and tries to go after the cat demon, while the other enemy launches numerous webs towards the fighter. She manages to single out the monster as they fly towards the building and cornering the enemy onto a bridge. The warrior levitates all her swords into the air and launches them towards the monster, while the demon tries to dodge the attacks but eventually gets hit and falls onto the ground. Meanwhile, Tom continues to battle the Dragon Lord as Jade's friend charges towards the enemy, but she's quickly defeated as she gets punched across the room. The monk tries to attack the opponent by himself, but is countered by the enemy's magic and gets thrown towards the wall and crashes onto the ground. Jade sees this and retaliates immediately, but is also defeated by the dragon demon in a single strike. The evil lord goes onto the bridge and sees that one of his daughter has been killed by the mustache warrior, while the woman fires all her blades towards the enemy. However, the demon quickly stops the attack in mid-air and deflects all the swords back towards the girl, piercing through her stomach numerous times, which kills her in the process. The spider monster grabs onto Tom and drags him outside the building, while the dragon demon steps on the man's chest and stabs him by using the claws. Jade immediately rushes outside and begs the enemy to spare the man's life, and promises to do anything in return. The dragon lord tells her daughter to give the woman a poisonous bug to swallow, which makes her obey the demon's orders or the parasite will start eating her from the inside. The demon tells her that she belongs to him now, before laughing maniacally while leaving alongside his daughters and allowing the monk to suffer on the ground. Jade is forced to go into the palace as she dances in front of the king and quickly seduces the man as he makes her one of his concubines. At the same time, Tom is suffering from his wounds while his master tries to alleviate his pain, but has little effect as the man is already dying. Surprisingly, the snake demon arrives inside the temple when the old man is gone and decides to take out her spiritual energy that was meant for her father. She feeds her essence into the man's mouth and tells him about the location of his lover so that he can stop her father from hurting any more people. Very soon, the man begins hearing the voice of the goddess of mercy and he goes in front of her statue to listen to her wisdom. The deity tells him that he has to regain his powers in order to defeat the dragon, and the only way to do that is to obtain the breath of a loved one, which confuses the monk even more. On the other side, the king is preparing to do some bedtime exercise sacrifices with his new concubine, while the Dragon Lord watches everything from behind his magical mirror. The woman tells the Emperor to close his eyes and begins spitting out a mind-controlling device into the air. However, before she poisons the king, the girl changes her mind and betrays the Dragon Lord by telling the Emperor everything about the conspiracy. This greatly angers the demon as he begins hammering the drums, waking up the bug inside the woman and causing her tremendous pain as it devours her body. The spider demon rushes inside the palace to kill the king herself, as their identities were outed by Jade, but numerous soldiers quickly rush into the building and surrounds the monster. The demon attacks the people immediately and tosses them into each other, eventually defeating everyone as she knocks them down by using her claws. Very soon, the entire army begins charging towards the building as they try to save their king, forcing the Dragon Lord to abandon his drums and fly onto the battlefield. The man crashes onto the ground and knocks the soldiers into the air as he conjures all his powers towards the humans and turning the entire army into dust. Meanwhile, the spider demon grabs onto the king, and just before she's able to kill the man, Tong arrives alongside his master to save the Emperor. The monster turns the attention towards the monk, while Tong summons his weapon and strikes the demon onto the walls. The enemy retaliates by shooting her webs at the man, but Tong is able to deflect the attack as he throws everything back and slicing the creature into a million pieces by using his sword. The dragon demon rushes inside the building, only to see that Tong's master has transformed into the giant creature once again, but the old man is quickly knocked away by the enemy's immense power. Tong takes the chance to run towards Jade and tries to take the breath of his lover so that he can regain his power, but this fails to work no matter how many times he kisses her. With no other choice, he decides to escape alongside the girl and arrive towards the battlefield, only to see that his master is being overpowered by the demon. Tong summons all his energy and tries to interfere, but gets pushed back immediately by the enemy's immense power. The demon grabs onto the giant and throws him towards the ground as he easily rips off the man's tail. The woman charges in to help as well, but is clearly no match for her enemy as she gets knocked towards the pillars, which ends up mortally wounding her. Tong's master tries to attack the demon once again, but is quickly defeated by the Dragon Lord, who strikes him away like a ragdoll and killing him as a result. However, the demon quickly realizes that the old man was actually able to damage him, which causes him to bleed out profusely. He quickly runs towards his daughter for her spiritual energy to heal his wounds, only to find out that it was given to his enemy already, causing him to scream out in anger. On the other side, Tong grabs onto his lover as she slowly dies in his arms, and the woman tells him that she'll find him in her next life no matter what happens. The two share their last kiss before Jade eventually passes away, causing him to cry in sadness as a golden aura begins to surround him and returning all his powers. He finally understands that what he needed was not just any breath, but the final breath of the one that he loved. The Dragon Lord begins transforming into his true form as he becomes a colossal dragon. The snake demon sees this and tries desperately to run away, but quickly ends up being devoured by her father, who consumes her remaining life force. Suddenly, a massive amount of energy crashes into the main character as he transforms into the Golden Warrior and conjuring enormous amounts of aura in the sky. The dragon flies into the air and surrounds the monk, but Tom begins cloning himself as he launches numerous warriors onto the enemy's body to push the demon away. He then commands all his clones to join together as they evade the flames of the opponent, eventually turning himself into a massive golden dragon that roars furiously at the enemy. However, the fight is not over yet as the red dragon launches in for a counter-attack and bites onto the main character's body. The demon smashes the golden dragon onto the ground and cuts the creature into pieces, causing it to scream in pain, but Tong is quickly able to regenerate as he begins to transform once again. This time, the main character forms into a massive warrior as all the clones fuse together into a giant body that's ready to take on its enemy. The red demon charges towards the giant fighter and the two jumps into the air, but Tong is able to smash the enemy onto the ground. The golden warrior charges up all his energy and punches the creature right inside its mouth, dealing a fatal blow towards the enemy as he reassembles himself once again. The main character lands on the ground and turns back into his human form after finally defeating the dragon and avenging his friends. ends. He runs towards Jade immediately, but quickly sees that her body is turning into dust as she disappears right in front of him. The goddess of mercy finally shows herself towards the man and tells him that he can go back to heaven once again, but Tom refuses, realizing that he's cursed to never see his lover again. The deity feels sympathy towards the man's loss and transforms the spirit of Jade into a bird so that he'll always be together with his soulmate. The man thanks the goddess for her kindness and begins his journey once again as he seeks to protect all humans from evil alongside the spirit of his lover. So what do you guys think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.